MilesPerHr crew. Yes, I am talking to you from behind the camera yet again today. Do not have a filming individual, so we're going to be doing this a little differently. I will not be able, unfortunately, to drive this 21 Porsche Panamera today. However, I will have POV drives, POV night drives, and an in-depth review coming. So stay tuned for that. So let's flip it around real quick so I can say hi. Hello! Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get back to the car. He said. There we go. So 21 Porsche Panamera. It is the base Panamera, not any of the upgrades, not the S, not the turbo, not anything like that. Hey Kevin, thanks for tuning in. And I am going to answer questions that are from the folks tuned in live. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live, along with some questions that I have here printed out from folks who asked on Instagram and on YouTube's community page. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @MilesPerHr, and YouTube's community page is just if you're subscribed. And TikTok, I also do daily videos there. So, real quick, I just want to start with this one question, because it's a good question from the Socialist. It was asked on Instagram, what's the difference between the 21 Porsche Panamera and the 2020 model year? So for 21, they gave it a mild refresh. So up here at the front, we'll notice that the quote-unquote sport design front fascia that was optional on the 2020 Panamera is now standard on this car. It also gets new wheel designs. This one has the optional 20-inch Panamera Turbo wheels at the back. It gets an LED strip across the tailgate. That's new for 21. And then inside, gets an updated steering wheel with integrated shift paddles. And it also has the latest Porsche communication management system. We'll get into more on that. So that was the first question. But let's jump into the folks who are tuned in live. Again, thank you guys so much for joining. Let's see here. I'm going to roll back. And hi, Viva. Hi, Vasavi. Hello. Hi, Kevin. Hey, Gregory Jones. Love the color on this Panamera. Yeah, this one is Gentian Blue Metallic. It's just a little upgrade, like 800 bucks or so, and I think it's beautiful, especially with that Luxor beige interior. Porsche Panamera is your dream car if you have 3 kids in the future. I don't know. 3 kids in this would be a bit tight. Yes, it does have a middle seat in the back, but I think this is a 2-kid car. Hello from Hausem. My dream car is either Dodge Demon or Mercedes-AMG GT. Dan, okay. Well, I mean, the AMG GT 4-door coupe is rival to this. Okay, let's see. What are the questions we have? Amer, can you show the backup camera and shine? Sure. So let's hop in and we'll do that. To show the backup camera, we'll have to start the vehicle, but not opposed to that. Hopping in, key on the left, of course, is a Porsche. And then we'll go into reverse. Press up on the drive mode selector here. Well, it wants me to close the door first. We'll try that. Now, forward. All right, so this one has the optional surround view camera system, so you get that bird's eye view. And you heard some of the chimes. That was part of what you wanted. The chime reminds you of a Rolls Royce, Kevin? I don't know. I don't hear the similarity between the two. There's a front camera angle, side camera angle, panorama front. I'm in a Panamera. Panorama front and then panorama rear, so super wide angle front and rear cameras. So that's the camera system in the new Panamera. Let's jump back to other questions. So let's see. Xavier asks, is it better comparing to the new S-Class and 7 Series? Well, Xavier, this vehicle isn't exactly a competitor to those vehicles. Porsche doesn't exactly have a full-size executive sedan. This vehicle can be equipped with the executive package, so it gives it more rear legroom, but it's not really ever, I'm not sure what the camera's doing. It's not really ever a completely direct rival to those. It's more competing with vehicles like the Mercedes-Benz CLS and the coupe, and competing against the Mercedes-AMG GT43, specifically the Panamera, the base model, not the GTS or Turbo, and the BMW 840i Grand Coupe, and the Audi A7. Those are kind of its rivals. It's not really competing with the S-Class. Let's see here. And guys, if you want to make sure your question is fully answered, feel free to do super chat. That would super help out the channel. Super. I'm just going to keep saying super. Super chat would be great if you guys want to do that. Would love it. Do I think I'll just answer as I see them. MilesPerHr, do I think the design of this is getting a bit old now? That's a good question. I think that the refreshes they've done certainly have made the Panamera look much better. I remember the first generation of this car, and I just really did not like the design. It was just so bulbous, especially at the rear end. And I think the updates they've made over time have made it a much more attractive vehicle. But to your point, it is sort of getting on in years with this design. They probably need a bit more dramatic of a refresh. However, I will say it's never been better looking than this. That's my answer to that question. Okay, so can I rev it? Asks Ethan. Yes. So because this car has the Sport Chrono package, you get the lap timer up on the dashboard, and you also get a Sport Plus drive mode. Lap timer. Sport Plus drive mode here on the drive mode selector. So we'll go in here. Makes me want to close the door every time. Every time. There we go. Closing the door. Sport Plus. And now we'll rev it from inside. Engage a gear to continue driving. Yeah, I got it. Thank you. Yeah, so soft limits me just to 3,000 RPM. I'll let you hear it from outside, just from right here. Ooh, some burbles. All right, so we get some burbles going. That's cool. I like that. Sorry, I can't get back there and rev it at the same time. If I could only split myself into two. No, that would be terrible. You want to hear the horn? Asks Kevin. Okay, let's do it. Make sure no one's here. Not going to disturb anyone. Horn. Here we go. So that's with the door opens. You can kind of hear it. That's higher pitch than I expected. Do I think it's better than the E-Class? Asks Toyota Venza Guy 24. Well, so again, I kind of listed the more direct rivals. As a four-door coupe, this car isn't exactly competing with the 5 Series and the E-Class. It's more competing with the 840i Grand Coupe and the CLS 450 and the Mercedes-AMG GT43. So those are more its direct rivals, and I will have an in-depth review coming, so I don't want to compare them too much. I can give you kind of specs between the vehicles. So like the base Panamera starts at $88,000 and makes 325 horsepower and gets to 60 in, Porsche says 5.3 seconds. Some other independent tests can see a little faster than that. The Mercedes-AMG GT43 starts at $90,000 and makes 362 horsepower, so more horsepower than this. And as I'm talking, I will pop the hood because that's been a question we've been asked. And it gets to 60 in 4.7 seconds. And top speed is, I think, just 130 miles per hour. I think they limit that one. Top speed for this one, by the way, is 168 miles per hour. The BMW 840i Grand Coupe starts at $85,000. And it makes 335 horsepower and gets to 60 in about 4.8 seconds. And then there's the Audi A7. That starts much less expensive, at about $70,000, and it makes 335 horsepower as well, gets to 60 in 4.7 seconds, and the fuel economy, if you care, that one is a pretty remarkable 24 combined. I say remarkable because the Panamera, by comparison, only gets 20 combined MPGe. So now that we got the hood popped, let's talk about the engine. 2.9 liter twin-turbo V6. It makes 325 horsepower, as I said, 331 pound-feet of torque. It's connected to an 8-speed automatic gearbox. And because this is just the base Panamera, not the Panamera 4 or any of the more powerful versions, then it's just going to send power to the rear wheels. All right, so let's go back here and see what questions we can ask. Fuel economy, Kevin, for this one is 20 combined MPGe. Hello from Indonesia, Antonio. Do I think it's worth $100,000? So yeah, I mean, funny enough, you guessed it. So it's $88,000 to start, but this one, as tested, is about $105,000, and that's with options like the color, that color of the interior, the the premium package, which gives it the Porsche dynamic lighting system, the 20-inch turbo wheels. What am I missing? And the rear wheel steering and the Sport Chrono package. All that kind of brings up the price to $106,000. I'm not going to tell you whether it's worth it until you watch my review. Can you get this in a V8? Yes, Kevin, you can still get this vehicle in a V8. I believe, what is it? The GTS and the Turbo both have V8s. There is a hybrid version of this one. Yes, Husim. This one is not hybrid. Which is better, the CLS 840 Grand Coupe or this? Asks Jesus. Yeah, I'm going to let you guys wait to see my in-depth review for me to answer that, because I don't want to kind of spoil that. Out of all your off-roading vids, what's your favorite car or truck? Asks Ethan. Okay, so changing gears here. My favorite off-roading vehicle, I think so far, has been the Wrangler 392. It was just so much power and so much fun to just get dirty and slide it around and have fun with that, but then incredibly capable off-road. That was pretty special. If you guys haven't seen that review, go check that out. Kevin R, yes, this one does have air suspension because that's part of the premium package that's on this car. Top speed of this car, Little Wesley Goat, I like that name, is 168 miles per hour. Can you see the interior, Rapid? Rapid Viros E. I can show you from the, well, I'll show you from the driver's side. That's what you want to see. This car also has soft close doors. You can see the back if you want. So check this out, soft close. I did not have the camera point in the right direction. So these are the back seats. And with the premium package, you get a 4-zone climate control system and a nifty infotainment kind of display back here. You can select various things. So it's so to the point about, you know, if you want to have 3 kids, this is not the car for you because it's a 2+2 setup in this vehicle, like the Mercedes-AMG GT43. Cup holders in here. 4-zone climate. Sport bucket seats in the back here. And I'm going to try to get the soft closed doors this time. Come on, camera. Here we go. Boom. Just like that. And I'll show you the front as we get there. But what questions we have coming in? Do I think the Taycan is basically a Panamera electrified? Asks Robert. And this is another question that was kind of duplicated here. It was asked on Instagram. Who asked that? Someone, Christians, asked, is the Panamera still relevant now that the Taycan exists? And this is a question you're going to see a lot if you're reviewing or spending any time with the Panamera, because people just see the 4-door coupe form and they're thinking, okay, well, they've already made a new one and it's all electric. It's called the Taycan. They're still different. The interiors are still very different. This one is a little more contemporary luxury. Some of the details that I showed you. The driving experience is also going to be very different. An electric vehicle with all the weight down low, and the way that the performance is accessed via an electric powertrain, instant torque, instant throttle response, is going to be different. And the way that the vehicle handles because of that weight distribution is going to be different. So it's not just the Taycan isn't just an electrified Panamera. The Panamera is still a very different product, and so is the Taycan. Are the soft closing doors actually useful? I always shut the door correctly anyway. Basil, I have found them to be useful because especially for what I do with the POV drive, sometimes I don't want to slam the door, so I try to close it softly, but then to have it close the rest of the way is pretty handy. However, in a normal application, I typically close the doors right, but if you ever don't, it's nice to just have the car take care of the rest for you. Hervé Legendre. Bonjour, votre vidéo est très flou. I don't know what flou. Je ne comprends. Flou. I don't understand what that means. But you're very welcome for the video. How configurable is the gauge cluster and infotainment? Asked Jesus. So you can change up a little bit of what's going on this side of the infotainment by going over here, clicking this, over, and now when it's red highlighted, you can change up kind of some of your navigation data. Elon's back. Hey, MilesPerHr. Hey, Elon. Intel Core, hi as well. So you can change up some of the information inside the gauge cluster, but you can't do a whole lot. On this right-hand side, you can change up a bit more. Let's see here. Okay, so it somehow went back to oil level. There we go. All right, so now I can slip through some different settings, G meter, sport chrono lap timer, so when you get set that going, then the clock will go. Your navigation, and you can zoom in and out on that. And then within the infotainment, I can fully set what's going on this display. So I can have it show the temperature, I can have it be a compass, I can have it be a clock, an analog clock. So there is quite a bit of reconfigurability. The tack in the center is not going to change at all, and the information down here, the only thing that will change is by changing up the drive mode. So doing that. All right, what other questions do we have rolling in? Do you think I can make a vid about the 21 GMC AT4 Duramax 1500 3.0 liter? Well, I'll tell you what, Ethan, if there's a car you really want to see in this channel, I would encourage you to become a patron, because at the team manager level, you can tell me what car you want to see on the channel and I'll make it happen. That's what I'll say. Does this one have a capless fuel system? Oh, Kevin, great question. One of my favorite features. So let's hop out. You know what? The car may have to be off for me to do that. So, off. And let's go check. It's on the right-hand side. Open up. No capless fueling. You have a cap. Now it's a neat cap with Porsche spelled out on it, but it is a cap. Unfortunate. Great question though, Kevin. You hit that like button, Elon. Thank you. What's the 0 to 60 time? Asks Amar Piperdi. The 0 to 60 time for this vehicle is 5.3 seconds according to Porsche. However, independent tests have seen very high 4s or even the lowest of 5s. So it's not the quickest car in its segment. Other vehicles are hitting 4.7s and 4.8s, but it's not slow. And it does have launch control on this one. What's my favorite Grand Coupe? Asked Hussein. Or Husim. My favorite Grand Coupe. Well, I mean, this is going to be getting into the review stuff. Let's just talk, you know what? I'll give you a little teaser. My favorite aesthetically, the one that I think looks the best, is going to be the BMW 840i Grand Coupe. I think the lines of that car are so sharp and it sits really tight and aggressive on its wheels that I love how that one looks. The Panamera does not look bad though. Aaron Miles, hey, there's another Miles. I'll drive a Porsche Taycan when I'm a teenager, but I'm a kid. Okay, so you think, well, if you have access to this as a teenager, I applaud you and whatever resources you have. This vehicle is 88 grand to start and $105,000 to test it. But what would you drive as a kid, Aaron? That's what I want to know. What Porsche would you drive as a kid? Is this one all-wheel drive, Kevin? No, this one is not. It is the base Panamera, which is just going to be rear-wheel drive. What do I think is the best spec for the Panamera? Jesus, that's a good question. I've always kind of been drawn to the GTS specs of Porsche models because they're more enthusiast specials in that they prioritize the driving experience above the features and the look necessarily. But with the Panamera, I honestly think the base one is kind of the way to go. It keeps the price within reason, but you get the look, you get the four-door coupe look. You can add on the options to style it up, like the wheels that give you the spec that you want. The features are great, and you're getting the Porsche driving experience. But again, I don't want to give away too much of the review. What is the exact stats on this beauty? X-Trust ADZ. I shared them a little earlier, so if you want to refresh for all of them, but I'll just share briefly. The price tag to start is $88,500. As tested, this one with a bunch of options is $105,470. The power it makes is a 2.9 liter twin turbo V6 that makes 325 horsepower, 331 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60, 5.3 seconds says Porsche, a little faster says independent test, and top speed is 168 miles per hour. Little Wesley Goats, can I review the new Nissan Z when it comes out? Yeah. Fix my micro, bro, says Spicy Memes. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys not hear me? Hopefully you can. The mic is plugged in. Let's see. Which would you have in your garage, a 750 or an S-Class? Oh man, if you saw my new S-Class review, which I hope you guys have, I spent a lot of time on that one and I really like that car, then you'll see that I love the new S-Class. That would be the car. That's I mean, like, daily driver, that's pretty much a dream right there. Elon asks, what's my favorite Porsche? Currently on sale? I'll have to limit it to that. Currently on sale? I'm going to say Cayman GT4. Because the Cayman is just so good. So much fun to drive. The GTS 4.0 was amazing, and I hope you guys watched that review too. But the GT4 is just another animal. I just want to show you guys the interior while we're talking here. Could I review the M4 G82 with a performance exhaust? I have reviewed the M4, so go check out that review. We'd love to floor it, hear those tires spin. Well, you'll get to hear, I mean, the tires, I don't know if they're going to spin. 382 or 325 horsepower isn't so much that it's going to overwhelm the tires of a 4,200 pound car. Is the Porsche Cayenne a good car comparing the X5 and other rivals? Yeah, the Cayenne is good. I have a review of the Cayenne out, if you guys want to see, of the Cayenne Coupe and of the Cayenne GTS. What do I think of the new Hummer, GMC Hummer and pickup? Very excited about those vehicles. I'm really excited about the all-electric pickup trucks that are to come, especially the Rivian. I want to learn more about that one. How much space does the boot have? I believe, let's see, where's the trunk release button here? Right here. I think it is 17 cubic feet of space. I cannot remember off the top of my head, guys, but it's considerable, and especially with the hatch design, it gives you more options. So you've got all of this load space here. Under here is the sound system and battery and inflation kit. You don't get a full-size spare. But then you can fold down the seats and take off this cargo cover, and then you have the extra height that the hatch is going to give you, and you can have more room to store stuff. So it's, I mean, having the hatch design is just so much more practical. What would I choose, the F-150 King Ranch or Ram 1500 Longhorn? That's a good question. I love the interiors of the new Rams, and considering how much time you'd spend in it, presumably either for work or for pleasure, I think I might go with that one. Elon, I cannot show you a pull on the 405 right now. I have that in my POV test drive that's going to be coming out, and night drive and all that. But I can't show you a pull right now because I'm filming the car myself. So much static noise with the mic. Is this a wind? Mic rubbing? Okay, so sorry about that. Hopefully I'm holding it in a way that's not creating static. Okay, let's see. That's quite a considerable space. Yes, I agree. Are the tires run flats? That's a good question, Kevin. I don't believe so. I think BMW is one of the only manufacturers that still does full-on run flats. But I may be wrong, because Spicy Meme seems to think they are. They might be. What other questions we have coming in? Let's see. Panamera Hybrid or GTS? From Husim. That's a good question. I think someone in my, I need to get to my questions from Instagram, and I've done a terrible job answering those. But one of them was about rear legroom. Hybrid or GTS? I'm going to always go GTS. I love the GTS spec. Who asked about the rear legroom? Gusan, how comfortable is the back seat, legroom, headroom, etc.? So here I am sitting behind me, and this is actually not my exact driving position. It's a little further back because this car has comfort access turned on where it pushes the seat back to allow ease of entry. And so I still have, considerable knee room. Foot pockets are nice and large. I can slide my feet under there, really kind of spread out. The seats are fairly well bolstered. Oh, does Mercedes also use run flats? Interesting, Jesus. Thank you for adding that. Yeah, they're fairly tightly bolstered, so they're not like crazy comfortable Lux. But I have headroom too. Let me turn this around. Here we go. One sec. Headroom. I got it. Got it in this vehicle. So the back seats are not bad at all. It's only worth it for its base price, bro, because if you have the funds, get the Taycan Turbo S. Yeah, well, I mean, if you have the funds, but if you just want the look, but you don't necessarily have the 150 grand that the Turbo S costs, this is not a bad way to go. This is the Audi A7, asked Kevin. Well, I'll leave that for my review. Which would be better buy, the QX Monograph or the Nissan Pathfinder? Better buy, that's an interesting question. It depends on your resources because the Pathfinder is definitely going to be cheaper. Now this, the QX60 is going to be based on the Pathfinder, so it's going to be the same platform, but and same engine, but they are going to look differently and they're going to have different features. So if you can afford it, I would say the QX60. But if you can afford it, is kind of the subtext for everything I say. This is awesome, and it's a mixture of performance and luxury, says Ethan. Yeah, I agree. It's a really nice mix. I also what do you guys think of the spec of the Gentian blue on the Luxor Beige? I think it's a beautiful spec. I love really nice tan interiors. This one has it. There you go. See, it didn't close it right, and the door did the rest. Which interior spec do I prefer, asks Jesus. Between what? Which interior spec between what? Between the different model lines, or how I would equip it? Because I think this one is well equipped, and yes, it is expensive at $105,000 as equipped, but I think that one premium package adds a lot of goodies for $8,000. You like the spec, says Intel. I love it. Maybe the window trim in silver too. Ooh. To top it off. Yeah, okay, so I can see that with the wheels and silver window trim kind of working together. That would be cool. The rims are bad, says MS1. So someone else commented on the rims. So you don't like the rims. These are 20-inch Panamera turbo wheels. They call them, they're $2,700. You know, I'm kind of with you. I think that the wheels look a bit boring for the car. I think the car needs spicier wheel options. These with the 5 split spokes are kind of a letdown. Can you get this with black interior? Kevin, yes, you can. Is the Audi RS Q8 basically a Urus under the radar for a bargain, asks Robert? Well, so here's the thing, like, unless you're in love with the way the Urus looks, and I mean, the performance is the most insane of any SUV I've driven. So if you want that in an SUV form, then you can't beat the Urus. But the RS Q8 to live with is vastly better. It's so much more comfortable. But guys, go check out my reviews of the Urus. I don't have one of the RS Q8, unfortunately, but I do have all those POV drives. Intel Core says, I'd spend more money on the rims for sure. It looks really winter emergency spec. That's interesting. That's funny. I mean, part of that is probably the fact that there's quite a bit of sidewall here, but I will say that with the extra sidewall, you get amazing ride quality. That and the fact that this car has the air suspension system. So, you know, it's a give and take, but I agree the wheel design leaves me wanting. Okay, this over an E63 wagon, asked Mohammed. That's an interesting question. E63 wagon. I do love the E63 wagon. I love that it's not a common vehicle. Around where I live in Orange County, you see a fair number of the Panameras. And you see a fair number of E-classes, but you don't see many E63s. And I like having a car that not everyone else has. So I might lean towards that and V8, you know? At least compared to the base Panamera. What safety features does it have, Anmar? Well, so this one comes now for 21. They added lane keep assist and traffic sign recognition as standard. So it gets adaptive cruise control as standard. It has lane keep assist as standard, and automatic emergency braking and pedestrian detection. It's got all those goodies as standard. Intel Core. Well, I try to get my hands on a 911 GT3 Touring when it arrives. Oh, 100%. I've been trying to get the 911 GT3, but they're pretty selective with how they loan vehicles. I've not been able to get one yet. It's a nice car. Ariel S. It says it's a nice vehicle because you get in a family car that's very nice. Yeah. I mean, it's a small family car. So really, again, only can have 2 kids in the back. You could have full-size adults in the back, but you could fit 2 kids in the back comfortably, but no more than that. And then, you know, having the hatchback means you have a little extra storage space, but it's not like an SUV. You're not gonna have that much storage space. Have I done a review of the 21 Lamborghini Urus, says Little Wesley Goat. I've not done the 21, but I did the 20, and the changes for 21 are basically just wheels and colors. Have I gone to the Porsche Experience Center in Atlanta, asked Robert. No, but I've done the one in LA, and I'm actually going to make a video about that. soon. Hey, Aaron. Transit Gaming says your dad's getting this car. Cool. Is he getting the base model or is he getting one of the higher trim specs? I'm curious. And again, sorry guys that I can't go drive the vehicle right now for you. Again, because I'm filming myself. That would not be safe. Not the responsible thing to do. But I will, again, have POV test drives and night drives and all that good stuff for this car, including a review. I'll go back here. What? Closest Porsche dealer to me? Well, that's a good question, Kevin. I don't know off the top of my head. But I don't get my cars from dealerships, so I don't really have to worry about that. This versus the AMG GT43, says Mohammed. I will have that coming in a review. Is there a Porsche dealership in Newport Beach? Yes, there is. There is. I'm not right by Newport, so I wouldn't go to that one necessarily, but there is a Porsche dealership there. Which car is better quality, gas Jesus? The 840i, Grand Coupe, the CLS, the A7, or this? Better quality. So I'm thinking about when you press on things, are they going to creak or are they going to last? And I will say that I think Porsche's build quality is among the best in the segment. Their things feel more solid. When you press on things, I'll go show you, in the cabin, their things feel more solid. There are going to be creaks, but the creaks are really very manageable. So just pressing on these materials here, that's all pretty solid. Trims, which usually creak a lot, not hearing any creaks there, not any creaks from this up here. So that kind of passes a lot of tests right there. Through here, no creaks. On the piano black, no creaks. Yeah, so it all feels very solid, and things just look, with all German automakers and their vehicles, things just look very tidy, but in this car it just feels really high quality. So I'm going to say maybe a Mercedes. You'd get this in black on black, says Kevin. I think that would look cool. This versus the Sport Turismo, that's Husem. That's a great question as well. So would I get this or would I get the Taycan Sport Turismo? Again, I'll go back to the fact that the Taycan and the Panamera are two completely different vehicles in the way that they drive, and the looks may be similar. Taycan looks a little more futuristic, certainly. But the Sport Turismo is very interesting to me because they do not offer a shooting brake, quote unquote, for the Panamera, but they do offer that for the Taycan, and so I think I really like shooting brakes. Might want to get that. You want to hear the panic alarm, Kevin? All right, we can do that. Grab the key real quick. This is what it looks like. And I won't run it long, but I will do a panic. Don't panic, but you should panic. It's on the back here. Right there. Let's do it. That's the panic for the Panamera. It's actually kind of subdued. You know it's panicking, but it's not that loud. Amber, that answered your question from earlier? Cool. Okay. Love the key. Porsches, they do. I love their keys. I wish it was a bit, so let's see. I was in the Maserati Geekly, and that key was just so heavy. It felt like a piece of jewelry. This one isn't, it's not quite as heavy, therefore it doesn't feel solid, but I love the shape. The shape is really neat, because it's like a clay molding of a car. See that? It's pretty cool. Is this bigger than most coupe executive sedans? How close is it to an S-Class? Dimensionally, an S-Class is still going to be longer. The wheelbase is still going to be a little longer, not a lot, but the interior space of an S-Class, as a comparison, is going to be much more. Your hip room, having the fact that you can, if you do executive seats in that one, you have so much more shoulder and hip room in that vehicle. The leg room is going to be a little more, so it's not really going to compete with those, unless you're so obsessed with the four-door coupe look and you really want a Porsche product. Then you would cross-shop this with that. Does the car honk when you lock it? Good question, Kevin. Let's find out. No, okay, so it does that click, and you saw the mirrors power fold in. What's the horn like, Intel Core? Okay, so I honked it already. I'll honk it one more time. People love to hear what the horn sounds like. I'll do it with the door open again. More practical, I have Porsche Panamera or Porsche Cayenne. I'm going to say the Cayenne. Even though the legroom is actually better in the Panamera, the Cayenne just has more capacity. Okay, so here goes the horn. I guess the car has to be on. Now here comes the horn. Burp. Burp. Yeah, so a bit higher pitch than I anticipated. Amber, I'm glad you caught me live. Yes. I'm glad you enjoyed this. No problem, Nicholas as well. All right, well, if there aren't any other big questions, let me jump back to this Instagram sheet. Again, these are from the folks who asked the questions earlier on Instagram, at MilesPerHr if you want to follow me there, and YouTube's community page. Let's see. Least favorite thing about it. I like this from Cole. Least favorite thing. Man. You know, I think probably my least favorite thing is the price. It's got to just be the price, because when you think about the performance that you get relative to the competition, the price is a bit high. But what you get in terms of performance, and I'm leading into the review here, but we get in terms of performance, you start to see the value in that. But the starting price is the highest of the segment, except for the AMG GT43. But that car is sort of a different class. Okay, Rev Limiter. I believe it's 7,000. Let's see here. 6,800 RPM redline. Does it feel underpowered, Mohammed? I'll leave that for the review. Let's see. Don't disturb the neighbors with the horn. Yeah, no, they're good. It's also later in the morning, and people are walking around and doing their thing, so I'm not going to spend too much honking that horn. Okay, real quick. Okay, so Robert asked, BMW X6 or GLE Coupe? I don't like either of those vehicles, if I can be honest with you. I don't really like the coupe design SUVs. Can I throw in an alternative? I like the Panamera or the Cayenne Coupe. I like that one. So that would be my alternative choice. Grab the questions list real quick. See what else we got asked. What are those wheels? Asked 787. Yeah, so I already shared that those wheels are the Panamera Turbo. They're optional 20-inch wheels, and they're not the best. We've all agreed they're not the best. Is the Panamera still relevant now that the Taycan exists? That Christian asked that. I answered that. The MSRP asked true story. This one is $105,470 to be exact. Yeah, it does have a soft limiter, Nicholas. Right around 3,000 RPM. Wish it was a bit higher. At least 4,000 would be nice. Intel Core, does it sound throaty, loud, deep, or subdued? Well, the POV drive's going to give a bit of an answer to that. From sitting here revving it, there's some nice burbles to it, throaty for sure. But it's it's a twin turbo V6, so the V6 they've just a different sound than a V8. It's just not going to sound quite as deep. All right, and without any more questions really coming in at this time, thank you guys so much for watching. And probably going to cap this live Q&A right here. Look for POV drives and the in-depth review to come. And I wish you guys a wonderful weekend. Thank you again for watching, and